Why would someone choose me over one of the many other banks? And what I learned is that if I can provide insight and value, I can develop relationships with providers and become more of a partner as opposed to just another vendor. And IBISWorld helps me to do that.
Hi, I'm Matt Murphy. I'm Senior Vice President of Client Services at IBISWorld, and today I'm joined by Scott Fraser. Scott is Vice President and the Healthcare Banking Program Manager at Windsor Federal. Scott, I know today we wanted to talk a little bit about how you're using IBISWorld's industry research to forge meaningful relationships with your clients, as well as how you're using our AI tool, Phil. But before we jump into some of that, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I'm a commercial banker that specializes in the healthcare industry. I had worked in the healthcare industry for close to 15 years before transitioning to banking. I joined Windsor Federal in 2024 to help develop a healthcare banking program. And the bank had recognized that the healthcare industry represents about 20% of the economy. Many of these healthcare providers tend to be lower risk than some of the other industry segments.
How has IBISWorld's industry research helped you guys better communicate with your clients, better educate your clients?
I think one of the biggest challenges is differentiating ourselves. There's a lot of banks out there. There's a bank at every corner. We all provide loans, lines of credit. All of our money's green. And why would someone choose me over one of the many other banks? And what I learned is that if I can provide insight and value, I can develop relationships with providers and become more of a partner as opposed to just another vendor. And IBISWorld helps me to do that. The IBISWorld notifications are great ways to stay in touch with the industry. And I have about 10 different subspecialties on my watch list. So I'll get those industry updates on a regular basis, and being able to share that information with my customers and understanding the industry and the changes of the industry helps me to become a valued partner with them. And banking is a relationship business. Understanding their industry and having that common ground helps me to build these relationships. I think what is really helpful is recent developments. I bring that to meetings and to association events that I go to provide that information. People like to hear about changes and recent developments nationally, but also more specifically for the state. So the IBISWorld State Industry Reports really helps me to drill down to a statewide level.
Having that state and local perspective can go a long way. We also have our AI tool, Phil, which I know, Scott, you've used before. It used to be that when a banker wanted to prepare for a customer meeting, they'd have to go into IBISWorld, they'd maybe download a PDF report and bring it into the car with them before a meeting, or maybe they're just looking at it 5 minutes before they have a customer call. Getting up to speed on a particular industry can happen a lot quicker by using Phil.
I used Phil just recently for ambulatory surgery centers. And the question that I put in, I'm looking at it over here, is what regulations affect ambulatory surgery centers across the United States? And it provided me with information that I can use and provide to my customers to really understand how those regulations affect the industry.
We've actually now got, prompt templates that we've put into the IBISWorld database. You can go in and you can actually see the different prompts that are going to get you the best results in terms of preparing to meet with a client, ask them questions about what's keeping them up at night, different challenges that they're facing within their particular industry.
The question is, where is that information coming from? One of the things I really like about Phil, the IBISWorld tool, is that the information is coming from the vetted information from IBISWorld.
And IBISWorld's industry data is all human verified as well. So any of that data that is surfacing in Phil, was vetted by an IBISWorld industry research analyst.
There is a statewide report that I brought to a dental provider, and a lot of these folks are looking at benchmarks. They want to know how their practice compares to others in specific geographic areas or within the state. They came back to me and they said, "Oh, this is really interesting," but she wanted a little bit more relevant detail. Having the relationship that we have with IBISWorld, there were folks that I was able to reach out to, and they took that request and was able to provide some great additional information.
We've got a little over 50 different analysts here just in the US that are meant to help respond to queries like that, make sure that bankers are getting the most out of the resource.
Once again, it goes back to my point about building a partnership. I really like using IBISWorld and the industry information to help to keep me top of mind.
If you are interested in learning more about how IBISWorld can work with your bank, whether you use this already or you're new to IBISWorld, you can just visit IBISWorld.com or get in touch with your IBISWorld Client Relationship Manager, and they can happily show you how bankers like Scott here are using our AI tool, Phil, and look forward to seeing you at the next one.